Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today it is time for my embellishments part 7 for my Seafarer album. First of all, I want to show you now what I made last time. It is a card or 2 cards with the pink ink set shells, and I like the stems from pink ink, and I also like these set from Tim Holtz. These stems are rather small and they are perfect for my plan now. I want to use this paper, it is the back side of my stamped paper, and I only want to make a frame with my stems because I want to have something at the edges for my pocket in my album. And yeah, when I only use the color, it is a little bit empty and I want to have a surrounding. Now you can see what I mean. Only the edges are now covered with my stamps, and I can use now this side of the paper behind my pocket. You can see now my pocket and also my little card. And yeah, it gives a little bit interest to my pocket. And now it is time to think about how I can use my leftovers and my scraps. And these stripes I made before, and I used a stamp also from the set from pink ink, and these little dots are all made with a stamp. It is a very small stamp, and here are now the fishes. It is also a scrap paper. It was from the packaging of something, and here is now a set from Tim Holtz I used, and I'm not sure if I'm using this stripe for my album, but I only want to show you now my leftovers and my stripes. Yeah, and on the left side it is again a pink ink set. Now you can see it with the seahorse, and the dots are made with this little stamp, and the smaller seahorses are made also with a stamp set, and the plants and all the other things. Yeah, and I also use my 2 fishes, and the scene is a good example on the page. Yeah, it is really a good idea to use your stamps, and you can make so many things with your stamps. I can't tell you why, but I wanted to use my stamps from the stamp set from Tim Holtz, and I show you now what I mean. It is this lovely stamp set, and I use this angel and also this little stamp on the top and on the bottom. Yeah. I have often leftovers and I use everything, also my packaging paper, and I will show you now an example. I made a pocket and also an envelope. For my decoration for the pocket I used a stencil and also distress oxides, and this is now an example. It is a stamp I used from a set from EFCO, and this is a set from La Blanche, and I covered my edges very dark with distress oxide ink, and I used really dark colors. Here I used my Seahorse from the pink ink set, and I had a problem with my page because I used the paper with a stencil and an embellishment mousse, no, a crackled mousse, and yeah, it doesn't want to stay on the paper and it comes off. That was a problem for me because I used a sentence and I want to have a sentence on the paper, and so I used again my stencil with a gel marker, and it is one of Sakura, and now you can read the sentence. And I also use my pen for the little dots, and by the way, I colored my Seahorse with colors from Nuvo. I use different aqua markers, and I used again something to put a little bit shine on it, some other colors, and now I think it is okay and it is looking much better than before. I think the Seahorse was a good idea to cover my paper, and now I have embellishments for my album, and I have to decide where I can put all these things I made in my album. I think I told you before that I had a little problem with my ribbon and my card. I want to use my ribbon as a belly band, and I can hang my card inside my belly band, but when I turn the page I have a problem because the card doesn't want to stay at its place, and now I want to fix my problem, and I'm thinking of a solution. How can I make something to hold it in place? I like my card and I want to hold it in my album, and it fits perfectly into my belly band, but I want to hold my card in this place, and perhaps I can make a little pocket, but when I make a pocket you have a problem to read the sentence, and perhaps it is better to plan everything and you have an idea where you put your embellishments and where you have your closure and magnets and things like these, but I'm not that kind of crafter, and I really make things when I have an idea. And also this pocket I made like this, and you can see the stems from Tim Holtz behind my little pocket. And here is now my water scene, my underwater scene, and also my embossed stems, my stem set. And the diver can find the place inside the pocket, and I can turn now my pages. And as you know, I want to combine different papers. I have always the designer paper, leftover stamps and ribbons and things like that. And now I know that I don't use this paper, but when I made my video I was thinking about a pocket, and now I don't make a pocket at this page, on this page, because I want to read my stamp, my words on the stamp, and a ribbon or a pocket is not a good idea for this page. And I can tell you that I also have to find another place for this card, and that has something to do with the place in my album, because the little lady is a little bit too thick. But I find another place for her. And here is now a tag I made with my stamp set from La Blanche, and I can put it behind my designer paper. Here again you can see the combination of designer papers and handmade papers, and I think it is a really good combination of these pages and the colors of the pages. This envelope was also handmade, and I'm not sure if I will glue it into my album on this page, but I can think about it later. Now I want to close my page, and I have this little tag, and it is my closure. And this page is now, it is blue behind, and I want to use my handmade designer paper. I made it with Distress Oxide inks, and they all were leftovers on my glass plate, and I spritz a little bit water on my glass plate and used the ink for my paper. I like my Distress Oxide inks very much, and I want to use all my colors, and it is always a good idea to clean your glass plate with your papers with your pages you have on your table, and I was really surprised because of my result. It was a nice background and I use it now for this page. First of all, I wanted to use my stripe with my seahorses, and I thought it would be a good idea because on the left side there is the mermaid. Yeah, but yeah, finally I find another solution, and I use now my dotted print, and I think this is also a nice solution, and I use it is something like a washi tape, but it is a little bit glitter in my washi tape. With a stamp set from Funkelkram, I made these little circles, and I want to have now these circles on my pocket. But first of all, I want to use glossy accent over my circles, and I will do that in the evening because I want to let the glossy accent dry overnight, and when it is really completely dry I can use it. I can use the whole button in my album and I have no problems. This is an old washi tape and I can't trust the glue, and that was the reason because I glued it also with liquid glue behind. Yeah, and now I show you my belly band and a special closure with my button, and I glued my button onto a handmade paper clip. It is a hidden paper clip. And all the things you can see now were made with leftovers and scraps, and yeah, I like really the shine of my glossy accent on my paper clip, and I put it now on my two flaps, and behind the flap is also an envelope. I have now a very special closure for my two flaps, and now I want to turn the page again and you can see my pocket, and now my buttons are ready, and I show you now with these buttons how I glue them onto my pocket. I must show you now the glossy effect of my glossy accent. I am very lucky with the result, and I want to glue it now with my red tape, and I think it is a very strong tape, and perhaps this is better for my circles. Warp a little bit, and because of a glossy accent, and with red tape I hope the tape will hold it better together to my pocket, and perhaps it will flatten again. Sometimes I have problems to peel the foil off, but I show it now a little bit faster, and I hope you can see what I mean and what I have done. Yeah, and now it is time to find the right position for my circles, and you can imagine that I need a little bit time for my tape and for my gluing, and yeah, you can watch now what I made with my circles. And now I think I'm ready. Yeah, the last circle and everything is now in place, and it is a good idea to use red tape for this because it really holds everything nice together, and I think it flattened a little bit the circles. Next page, next problem. I like my page as it is, but you can see now it is very thick and it is not easy to press my album down and close my album, and I have to find another place for my lady. She is a little bit too thick. Yes, sorry. But I can tell you I will find another home for her, and perhaps it will be the pocket on my first page. Okay, she is a little bit hidden, but you can take her out and you have a very nice surprise. Yeah, first page. I think it is a good place for her. There is an extra space inside my pocket, and now I can easily close my album and I have not the problem as before. I think it is a better place for her. And now I want to show you something special. I had this idea because I saw my circles and these were not perfect circles. I used my circle dies and the paper was not enough, and now I put both paper circles together as a complete circle, and I hold the two pages together with an eyelet. First of all, I made a hole with my Crop-A-Dile into my paper, and then I press an eyelet inside this little hole. And now my plan is to use this page, and I have a stamp underneath, yeah, and I will make with my Crop-A-Dile again a hole into this page, and I will hold everything together with a brad. Yeah, I used this paper with stamps from Cutzelcraft, and I want to use the image above, but the paper was too long and so I had to trim it a little bit, and now it has the perfect size for my page. I'm controlling always my closure and my circle, and I have to find the right place on my white paper. Yeah, now you can see that I use my big Crop-A-Dile and I make a hole in the white paper, and now I can put everything together. By the way, the image on my black paper is a stamp from Spellbinders, and I used it with an embossing ink, and I embossed my paper with silver embossing powder. This is now the little brad, and I will put it through both holes, and on the back side I will close now my brad. Again, I'm controlling my mechanism, but my circles can now be opened, and yeah, I think it is a nice extra on my page. I don't like the white flap on the top, and I want to hide it with a little bit craft paper. And now I think the image is much better, and yeah, it is hidden a little bit that there was something I glued down. I don't like the white pages and also the white page behind my craft paper, and I try to find always a solution for coloring my papers, and I try to find out if my seahorses were perfect for my page, but I think I have to find another way to hide my white paper. But first of all, I want to distress my craft paper, and I have now the distress ink. Yeah, it is Uncharted Mariner. I bought it, yeah, and now it is very new in my craft room, and I want to try it now. Yeah, I don't know when you will see my video, but when I saw the video by Tim Holtz with the new color Uncharted Mariner, I was thinking, yes, this is the perfect color for my album, but it is a little bit late, yes. But I tried to get it as soon as possible, and yeah, now you can see the result. This is now my distressing of my craft paper, and by the way, I have the same color also in Distress Oxide. And yeah, I think now it is much better, and I will glue it now in my page in my album. When I began with my Distress Oxides, I had only a few colors, because I think it is possible to mix every color, and you can try to find the right preparation and the right mixture of the colors. But yeah, it is a hard work to do it. I like mixing my colors, but sometimes you want to have your ink pad and you want to use it suddenly and immediately. Yeah, and therefore it is really handy to have something like Uncharted Mariner for a maritime or nautical album. When you know how you can mix your colors, you don't need many colors. I think you need blue, red and yellow and perhaps black. Yeah, and when you are ready to go. I started with Blueprint Sketch, a yellow one, I don't know, I think it was Fossiled Ember, and I had also a red one, but I can't remember the name of it. Perhaps it was Candied Apple, but I'm not sure. Yeah, and now I have many colors, and it is handy to have them on the table, but it is not a must, and I think you can also use a few of these colors, and you must not buy everything, because I know it is expensive, but I was collecting my colors over years and now I have many of them. Yeah, and the card is now ready to go, but I will do something more. I want to make a vintage look, and of course I will distress the edges of my paper, and it is perhaps too white for my album, and I want to use stamps and something else on my white paper. Now I use VersaFine, and again my stamps from pink ink, and I only use a few stamps, and I make something like a border with a larger and a smaller stamp, as you can see. In this case I'm using again my liquid glue, and I had the idea to use it as the whole thing as a pocket, but first of all I've used a scrap. It is a circle, a black one, and I will glue it on my bread on the back side of my paper. And I use only my liquid glue on the top, on the right, and on the left side. Now it is ready to use, and I of course control it again, and yes, you can turn the pages and the flaps, and everything is now working. As I told you before, I had to find a solution for my card inside my nice belly band, and I have now a little scrap, and I have the idea to cut it in half, and so I have 2 triangles, and I want to use the triangles as little pockets for my card. I want to glue one on the left and one on the right side, but I must pay attention because I want to glue it down forever, and I also want to read my sentence and these nice words. And now I think I have the right place for my paper. Yes, and again I'm distressing it with my ink, and now it is time to glue it, and I use again liquid glue, and I think it is now a nice solution for my card. You can take it off my ribbon and you can put it again inside, and you can read my card, you can open it, and now you can see what I colored my lighthouse. I had to color my lighthouse again in the inside of my card because it was so white, the paper, and I want to have something underneath my lighthouse. Yeah. And for now I have to finish my video, and I have to say it was a very fun part to use all these embellishments, and I hope it was an inspiration for you. And if you like my video, that would be very kind of you, and perhaps you want to subscribe to my channel. And yeah, if you want to write a comment or you have a question, then you can write it underneath my video and I will answer as soon as possible. And now I wish you a wonderful day, and I say bye bye.